Hey everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott, and it's time for the Almost Friday show for June 16th, 2011.
Kicking it off and off the press. Harry Potter's announcing something, but we don't know what.
Yeah, which is the super secret Harry Potter announcement.
It's Pottermore.
Why? I thought we were done with that. There's another movie coming,
Yeah,
and that's
but
it.
let's be honest. It's a cash train that she wants to ride till the bitter end.
I'll get on the train. I keep
A
getting
lot of
on,
people will, apparently.
You know, so why stop now?
No, sure.
Then Dave's going to the gutters, and he's talking about Hellboy Library Edition Volume 4, which looks ridiculously cool. If you're a Hellboy, even if you're not, it's all bound nicely, and it's pretty sweet.
In Tech Insight this week, we're taking a look at iOS 5 because I've got it on my iPad too now, so I get to show you some of the cool features that you can get with it, and all the things that happen when you put a developer beta onto your iPad.
All the fun things, apparently.
Indeed.
More on that later. Then we're going to lab, and Sean's talking about a couple things, not the least of which is another robotic hand. We're back on the robots. Robots are big here. So this one's pretty quick, kind of neat. Stay tuned.
And in Behind the Lens this week, we're bringing you a review of the Nik Snapseed app for your iPad, as well as talking about Panasonic and Sony's new mirrorless cameras.
Without further ado, it's time for Off the Press.
So are you ready to do Off the Press?
No.
Oh, you're never ready.
No.
Alright, so since he's never ready, we're going to start with some downer news. This is all your fault, Sean.
Oh,
so
what'd I do?
You discouraged Doctor Who from having a full season in the coming year. 2012. Yep.
That is totally not my fault.
So
I like Doctor Who.
Alright, so what the story is basically, so Matt Smith has signed on for 14 episodes for the next season of Doctor Who, so
Okay.
it's probably a Christmas special and a full 13 episode series. But the director of programming, I believe, at the BBC came out and said this past week that there will not be a full season of Doctor Who in 2012.
So they're cutting Daleks.
Well, either
and-
it's probably not a half season. It'll probably mean that Doctor Who is starting late.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah,
we'll just say it's starting late.
Yeah, some people have parsed this to mean Doctor Who is starting late, therefore half the season will take place in 2013.
Okay.
Or something stupid like that.
Well,
But
yeah.
2013 is also the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, so maybe they're splitting it up and doing something special.
Maybe look at all the past Doctors together. Do like another
the
three
living-
Doctors
all the
sort of
living
movie.
ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
They'll do just like they did back in the I think it was the 80s or 90s where they did like an all Doctors jamboree.
Yeah, the 5 Doctors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, so there really isn't that much information available for the story, except that there won't be a full season in 2012.
Crap. Oh
Yeah.
well. What are you gonna do?
Moving on to some good news, depending on if you're a fan or not.
I'm not.
So J.K. Rowling has put out a web page called Pottermore.com, which
And I'm
is
taking this into pottery class.
nope. Although it'll be kind of cool, make your Harry Potter bust.
Okay.
So basically, what this is it's a holding page for something coming soon. Coming soon, meaning I think next Thursday mid-afternoon our time, EST.
So J.K. Rowling, she's the one who did Harry Potter. She's wanting more money.
Probably she's going to be riding this thing as far as it'll go.
Well, probably a good plan.
So fans have speculated that this was most likely going to be an official Harry Potter wiki,
Okay.
which would be kind of cool actually to have an official encyclopedia wiki thing out there.
But aren't there like
A bunch of
probably 1,000 of them
bazillion
already?
fan-made ones, but
Yeah.
an official one would be official.
Okay,
So
so
you know
get a
what's canon,
Wikipedia,
give 'em what's
Wikia
not.
page and make it official.
Yeah, there are arguments to both ways, but some fans have also said, "Oh my God, what if this is an MMO?" Would be kind of cool though, but no. But the demographic that Harry Potter is trying to reach and not really successfully reaching,
I don't
nah.
think so.
No.
Although it could be interesting if they did make a Harry Potter MMO.
4 houses, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You do sorting hat before you choose a character.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
all right, yeah. Shh.
I'm
We're
on-
taking credit.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Sign me up for the beta. All right.
Pretty much.
So we had one more really big news this week about Duke Nukem Forever, but we're going to save that. First, we're doing the new releases.
So what came out in movies?
Green Lantern movie, the real one, not the one we went to see a couple of weeks ago.
Neat.
Very.
I actually want to see this one because I was sitting there when I first saw the trailers going, But his suit's all CG, mocap. Screw it, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And then as it's been going on, I've been getting more and more interested. So I
I've
actually do want to see
been
that.
less and less disappointed by the trailers, but I'm still very like, I'll go see it on cheap night, I guess, kind of.
Pretty much. I don't want
Yeah.
to spend, like, I don't want to go opening night, but I do want to see it.
Yeah, I'll see it when it's cheap.
Yeah.
So. In DVD Blu-ray this week, speaking of another cheap night movie, we got Battle Los Angeles. Actually really good once it gets started.
Really?
Yep.
I never saw that one, but I guess now I can rent it.
Yeah, the first little bit's a little bit slow, but once you get into it, it's really good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out.
And you have also Red Riding Hood.
So, is this like the dark retelling?
Yes.
So, American McGee's Alice meets Red Riding Hood, though.
Yes.
I have to see this.
Yeah. Apparently it's actually
why
pretty
don't I?
good. A couple of my coworkers saw it. They said it was alright.
Why haven't I got this yet?
I don't have no idea. It's definitely something you would be into.
Probably.
And in video games,
The aforementioned Duke Nukem Forever.
yep.
And also the aforementioned American McGee's Alice Return to Madness.
And Child of Eden for the Kinect. Looks like something cool if you're on drugs. Looks like something cool if you're
Not on drugs.
not on drugs. It's a really pretty looking game.
It's a game that I think you should probably be on drugs for. It's much like the Speed Racer movie.
Yes.
If you're on something, that movie's amazing.
It's enjoyable when you're sober. I'm sure it's more enjoyable if you're on drugs.
It could be horrific,
And
though.
coming out on Sunday the 19th, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time in 3D.
So what's the big thing about that? Oh, it's on the 3DS, is
Yeah,
it?
it's on the 3DS.
Okay.
It looks really good in 3D, actually. I got a chance to play it last week.
Oh, good.
The big blocky 3D sprites actually translate really well to the 3DS. So, good on you, Nintendo, for repurposing the game, I guess.
That might actually help them sell more units.
Yeah. And like we said earlier about Duke Nukem Forever, this game that's been in the works for 14 years, everyone thought it would be awesome. Metacritic score has it at a 43 and a half this afternoon
That's out of 100.
out of 100.
That's not good.
No.
And really, like, my opinions
Yeah,
of it,
you've had a chance to play it. You played it briefly. What do you think?
I hate it.
Other than,
Yeah, I shouldn't say I hate it. I would like to play more of it. I just don't want to spend $60 on it.
yeah.
This game, like, I played Duke Nukem 3D when it first came out, early in the 90s, and it was fun then because it was like, oh, wow, I get to run around, I get to rip heads off of, creatures,
Yep.
I get to shoot things, but, because when you're young and you're sitting there and you're like, well, you know what, I'll just put it this way, I'll be blunt. When you're a young prepubescent boy and you're going around and you see strippers in a video game, you're going, yeah! And then when your parents come down, you quickly hit the off button or reset button, so
turn
they
the
don't know what you're
character
watching.
around.
Or turn the camera around. You know what? That's the audience they're aiming for this one. However, they don't want to aim it at them. They want to aim it at us. That is the 20-plus-year-olds
Yeah,
and
the
all of
people
that.
who grew up playing Duke Nukem Forever.
And you know what? It has not aged well.
Yeah.
One quote I can think of was, "It passed through many hands." That is, it passed through many, many studios, and it does show it.
Yeah.
There's one thing that, of course, is like the game is rude. It's crass, just as it was before. That's what they're selling it as because that's what Duke Nukem was.
But the people who are buying that game know that going into it, though. That's the thing.
That's the thing. I knew that going into
Yeah.
it. The thing is, though, I was expecting to be a little bit. I was expecting to basically be Duke Nukem brought into the modern world. So keep it in the bad jokes that really aren't that funny. Keep the the 90s/80s action movie star sort of persona. The womanizing stuff was always funny because that actually made a lot of the funny stuff. You start the game off. So spoiler warning, and also for our younger audiences, turn the volume off because I'm gonna get a little bit emotional about this. You start the game off playing a game of you as Duke. So you are Duke playing a game of Duke, and you're basically getting your knob sucked off by two schoolgirls. So, okay, we were kind of expecting that. Okay,
Yeah.
the game's going the way I wanted it.
That's what I would expect going into a Duke Nukem game.
And then it just gets worse. As the game goes on, your chicks get stolen from you by the alien horde again because they want revenge.
Yeah.
And then, you get into the game, you get into the heat of it, you don't have a health bar anymore. So what I'm going to basically be saying from now on, you can find on anybody else's blog, anyone else who's actually touched the game. Because we basically all feel the same. You don't have a health bar, you have a ego bar. And, if you know Duke Nukem, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, get it. So I'm gonna have to drink beer. I'm gonna have to find a chick, and that'll bring my ego back up.
Yeah.
Nope, you duck and hide.
Boo.
Yeah, you duck and hide to reboot to get your ego back. That's very wrong.
Yeah.
So basically, Duke Nukem Forever, the lazy, unfortunate, I shouldn't say lazy, the unfortunate bastard child of many, 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 many studios who tried to keep the dream alive. And unfortunately,
Should have stayed vaporware.
it should have.
That's the general consensus from everyone.
I feel bad for the studios who were sitting there, who put all of their time into it, who, like, Gearheads, I like them. Or, sorry, Gearbox Studios, I love their studio. They make a lot of really great games, great mods.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
They're the most recent developer of this, right?
they are.
Yeah.
And you can't blame one developer or the other, because it passed through too many. Everyone dropped it off. They said, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And unfortunately...
Do you think this would have been better if they maybe pushed it back another year, though? No?
No.
Right.
This game should have stayed vaporware.
Yeah.
It should have just been a joke. It should have remained a joke.
Should have been the video game punchline.
Exactly. It should have been like Crisis.
Yeah.
It should have remained, a video game punchline, like you said. But unfortunately, it doesn't take up the mantle of what Duke Nukem 3D was.
So now we need a new punchline.
I think this is going to stay one.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how well this is going to sell. Like I said, it's marketed
Yeah,
toward
that-
20 plus.
So it's been selling surprisingly well despite the bad reviews.
It has, but that's because everyone's been going, I remember Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick this up. And unfortunately,
Well, you just have to wait and see how many come back as,
Exactly.
as trade-in games.
some people will probably be disappointed. Some people will probably be fine with
Yeah.
it. I mean, their mechanic is great. The game looks pretty. It looks amazing. But it's the rest of it,
It's the little things that
Yeah.
really pick away at it.
unfortunately. So that long-winded review to say that I didn't like the game.
All right, I haven't played it yet. Hopefully, I'll pick it up over the weekend or something. I'll rent it. I won't spend $60 on it.
Oh, sorry, I should
So-
make an addendum. The half-assed review because I didn't actually play the game completely and finish it.
All right, so maybe next weekend look for something up on the Twitters. We'll be doing very, very short form reviews about it. Probably
Pretty
as I'm
much.
playing. Pause. I died again. Damn it. Unpause.
Pretty much.
Things like that.
Yeah.
And on that sort of downer note, that brings us to the end of Off the Press this week.
Hi everybody, welcome to another week of From the Gutters. We're going to be reviewing 2 books this week. The first one we're going to be reviewing is Alpha Flight #1. Very excited about another Canadian book on the shelves. Well, a US produced book, but about a Canadian superhero group. And the other one we're going to be talking about is Hellboy Library Edition Volume 4. Gorgeous book. So the first one, Alpha Flight #1, written by Fred Van Lente and Greg Peck, illustrated by Van Cleek native Dale Eaglesham. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm not 100% sure. My apologies, Mr. Eagle Dale, if I got it wrong. At any rate, this is Alpha Flight, which, for people who don't know, Alpha Flight got annihilated off panel in an Avengers book. And everyone was very sad about that. It was kind of like, Bendis, do you hate Canada that much? You seemed happy with us last time you were here, but at any rate, so Alpha Flight was dead. During the Chaos War, they were brought back from death. Now, it's, I guess, essentially their first adventure that's happened since having been brought back from the Chaos War. I really didn't like this book. This is a disappointing introduction. There are other books where I'm like, you know what, I'll give this series a chance based on the first issue, which was very obviously an intro book. This intro book, Alpha Flight just has a hard time catching a break, it seems. They, just in terms of the creative teams that are involved. I'm very happy that they have a Canadian working on it. I wouldn't even be upset if they had a non-Canadian, just someone who is, oh yeah, you know what, this is what the scenes that I'm drawing look like, rather than taking postcards and doing it wrong. The art, if Dale can get a comic out regularly, I'll be happy with that. It's adequate artwork. A lot of his redesigns I was not terribly impressed with, but adequate. The personification, the characterizations, I should say, of the characters. Marina was not impressed. I think they were trying to be cute with her, but just doesn't end up working. Like, Disappointed is really what it comes down to. I will give the second issue a shot, but as it stands, I can't recommend it for anybody who's like, maybe I'll give Alpha Flight a shot. If you're buying a bunch of books already, probably not worth the cover price. On to the next book, Hellboy Library Edition, Volume 4. This is written by Mike Mignola, illustrated by Mike Mignola, as well as a whole bunch of other people. These are gorgeous editions. If you like Hellboy, like me, I highly recommend these books. First of all, they're oversized. They're larger than normal. They're still not original artwork size, which is okay. So you still get a little bit of the narrowing of the artwork, which is nice. And the writing is Mike Mignola. He's shepherding us all towards what Hellboy's final big story is going to be. In this particular one, there are a whole bunch of different stories. I really liked them. They're all very good. They don't not every single story in this book advances the mythos of Hellboy towards this epic ending, but it's Hellboy doing his thing, and I really enjoy those. $49.99 US price, worth it? For the fan, yes. For the non-fan, no. I would not say get this book. I would recommend rather getting the softcover trade paperbacks, which I think is the same term twice, for these stories. See if you like it first. Don't go right to the library editions. They're beautiful books, but a big investment for something that you're not sure you're going to like. I give, getting back to Mark's Alpha Flight, I'm giving it a tentative B-. It could be good. Hasn't delivered a lot on its promise right now. Hellboy, the Library Edition, Volume 4. I'm going to give this one an A- for the fan. And again, I just want to reiterate, if you're not a fan, don't buy this and send me an email and say, Dave, Hellboy sucks. Because not the first book to get. That's it this week from the gutters.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Insight for this week. Starting off, Quinn got the chance to jump on the iOS 5 developer beta. So we did talk about all the features and stuff last week because of WWDC, so Quinn's had a bit of a chance to play around with it.
Yeah, so we'll fire it up for you here so that you can take a look at some of the features. I'll start off with something that everyone's kind of happy about, and that's this new splitting keyboard functionality, which is pretty cool. You can use the keyboard like normal, but if you pull up, it splits in half. Which is beneficial when you're holding it with your thumbs.
When you're actually holding it, it's not down on something you can actually type.
Yeah, if you're not using something to prop it up, it can be hard to reach the middle keys while using your thumbs. So this puts them in a more beneficial place to be able to access and type with them, which is pretty cool. And I like the sliding motion. I think
It works pretty easily.
Yeah, and you can position it anywhere you want on the screen too, based on what your hand size is like too, which I think is nice. Because if it just came to some default spacing, I think it might not be as useful as it would be.
Yeah, and plus if you're working on a document or whatever, you don't have to move around the document. You can just move the keyboard, which is probably.
I was expecting it to be difficult to get used to typing with a split keyboard, but it really wasn't. I was able to just kind of type and go, oh yeah, I kind of know where things are.
Well, the keys are all in the same place, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of getting your thumbs used to it. It's really like you're typing on an iPhone.
Yeah.
Except, they're further apart.
So in Safari, they've added this new reader mode. So you can browse pages like normal, but if you click on content that you want to read, you'll end up with this little icon up in the bar that says Reader. If you click on this mode, it now condenses the page into a much more legible font and pictures only display, which is really great because if you are reading articles, we're showing it to you here in landscape, but it's optimized for portrait, and it fills the whole screen in portrait.
It really just makes it about reading.
Yeah.
It's exactly what the feature says. It's a reader. You can sit down and focus on it. You don't get all the ads, all the other articles to distract you. You can finish reading the one you're reading and concentrate on it and not have to.
And you can click on a little button and increase your font size if you want to, or decrease your font size, so you have control over how big it is. I think my only downside to it is it doesn't work on every page, which I can understand why.
Yeah.
But then I'm kind of like, can I use it? Will I be able to use it? They've also added the new feature of being able to put something into your reading list. So if you add something to your reading list, it will now show up here, and then you can see all of the stuff that you've read or unread, and then if you have read it, then it'll load up the page, and when you go back to this reading list again, you can see it's gone, and that's going to sync across your devices as well, which is nice functionality. You can see that the actual browser itself is black right now, and that's because we are in private browsing mode, which they've added in, which doesn't save passwords and cookies and things like that. And then if I click on, I gotta see if I can create a new tab here. So if I can create a new tab here and then go over to another page, and you can see that I can grab these tabs, move them around if I want to.
Finally, a useful tab interface.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy. You just click on it. You can click X.
Pretty
it's
quick.
going away. So it's actually pretty fast to navigate. I much prefer browsing with tabs. It was very smart for them to add this.
You have to, because of the way people browse on their computers. Like I never have less than like 6 tabs open, and especially the iPad. I don't know if it'll allow to really be that amazing on the iPhone or the iPod Touch, but on the iPad, tabs browsing is just it's required to get any kind of productivity.
Now the other thing that they've added is if we come down here and choose a word, we can see factor here. We can click on define, and then you're going to get this pop-up,
The built-in
which is
dictionary.
dictionary, which is actually really awesome.
Yeah, and it's cross-app too.
Yeah, anywhere that you can select text, you'll be able to define it, which I think is something that you wouldn't normally think of, but when you have that functionality, it's really slick. And it's implemented well. It doesn't take up your whole screen. You can look through. You can see derivatives and all your different versions of it and stuff like that.
Seem to pull it up pretty quick too.
Yeah, so I mean, I can jump down here and then click on another word. If I click on the word inception, I can now define inception. So very fast to operate. It's all stored locally, so
It's not something you're going to use every day, but when you do use it, you'll be thankful. It's very easy.
Now they've added some multi-touch gestures. So one of them is I can pull with 4 fingers to go back to the home screen, which if you get used to some of the multi-touch gestures can be fast. What else have they added to this guy? If you look at some of the menus, you can see that they've changed what a lot of the buttons look like. So if
Yeah,
we
they're
go on
not
the sounds
square
here,
anymore.
You can see that these little tabs are blue and circular. I think they look nicer. I'm trying to think what else is important that they've added.
Well, there's
Yes,
The
there's
newsstand.
which unfortunately doesn't work. This is a bit weird because it's a folder, so I can't delete it. Well, okay, it's a folder, so I can't put it in another folder to
Yep.
hide it if I don't care. And because it's an Apple app, I can't delete it. So it's an icon I have no choice but to have on my desktop. I would
and
say.
so will the rest of us once we all upgrade our iOS devices.
Yeah, and the other weird thing is that it acts like a folder, but then if you go in your multitasking, you can see that it's actually an app. That confuses me.
It's a folder and an app.
It's a
It
folder and
doesn't-
an app, yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that.
They've done some new stuff to calendar now. If we go into the day view, I can push and hold on a time and just add an event, which is nice and quick.
Makes it useful.
Yeah, because it was a little bit harder to add events and stuff, and so now it's very easy to just press, hold, create an event. So that's a nice function. They've added this new reminders software, which is pretty cool. You can click on a new reminder, and we can record our show. And if I close this down now, I can click on this, and I can tell it to remind me based on a location, and then I can use current location, and then I can choose it when I leave, for instance. And then if it has that information, it will remind me to do this kind of thing. Now again, you've got your notification box that pops up at the top here. It's a little less useful on the iPad than it is on the iPhone because you're not dealing with text messages and missed calls. So I don't find there's a lot there. And also because you don't have a weather app and a stocks app on the iPad, you don't get those widgets either.
It's kind of annoying.
It is
I
a
don't know
little
why
weird.
You wouldn't.
But I've got a new email, and I can just click the X button here, and I can clear that notification if I want to, and then it goes away, and I can slide that box down. But you can see it's very unobtrusive, which is nice. They've also added messages, which is their new cross-messaging system.
So really, it's only iMessage if you're on an iPad with, period, really.
Yeah. So you can talk to other
iOS devices.
Yeah. So I can send Scott Champagne here a text, and it'll apparently can't tell that he's a.
I don't have iOS 5.
Oh, this is true. You're
so
right.
You can't.
I can't send it to anybody right now because no one I know has iOS 5 except myself. But that would be iMessage for you. they've done some. The developer's kind of broken for photos at this point. Unfortunately, for some reason, it doesn't load into my thumbnails, which is weird. It's kind of broken its raw support.
But it is beta, right? It's not fully cooked. That's why it
For
hasn't
sure.
shipped yet. So a lot of these things that you will probably be hopefully done with.
But what's nice is you can create albums, so I can organize stuff into different albums here, and save that. Now it's going to create that album. I can scroll through and choose pictures that I want to have in my album, and then click done, and it will now create this album for me, which is nice. Something that people wanted. They've redesigned the iPad app. The music app is what they're calling it now.
It's not iPod anymore.
It's a little bit differently designed, which I'm not sure I love.
I've never used
it
an
doesn't,
iPad.
Doesn't
so I
really
don't.
look. Doesn't really look like the old iTunes version, so I'm not sure how I feel about
It looks like
this
it's
new
drawing a
design.
little more from the desktop version of iTunes as opposed to the iPhone version of iTunes.
Yeah, so that was just a couple of cool features from iOS 5. Again, as Scott and I said last week, it's definitely stuff that is needed and some stuff that's interesting that we're going to use.
Nothing exciting and
nothing
huge,
game
but-
changing. I mean,
no.
there's a couple of nice things like location-based reminders and the reader mode are both things
Yeah.
that I think will really improve your experience.
But again, it's not a giant jump in features and like wow that the iPhone's the only phone now. But it's just it keeps them current, and all these features are things that are going to be really easy to start using.
For sure.
So that's our iOS 5. We'll review this again when it ships,
Yes.
probably, when we all have the full-baked version on all our phones and things like that. So now it's been a pretty slow tech week, which is good, because we had E3 last week, and we had WWDC, and there's a whole bunch of other conferences. So just a few quick things this week. Connect. Microsoft officially, after people assuming they were going to, officially released the developer kit for Connect today for Windows. So that
Now you
gives
can wave your hands around in front of your PC.
Yeah, I
and
can do
things.
crazy Excel equations with well, that's not quite, but basically,
Math with my hands.
yeah, wouldn't that be cool? So basically, what it gives you is the exact same access you have on the Xbox. So the same protocols, the same SDK features, but you can use it with. I think they were saying you can code it with like all the standard stuff like VB, C#, C++, pretty much whatever you want as long as it's .NET capable. So it's out there. It's not beta or anything. It's done. So hopefully we'll see something cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, we were excited when they said they were bringing this out because it's great to see Microsoft say, you know what, this is a really awesome product,
Yeah.
and it can do more than just be a gaming peripheral. So it's really neat to be able to see them go, yeah, sure, go code for it.
And I
you know.
mean, as of right now, Microsoft's not baking any crazy Connect features into Word or into any of their software.
Yeah.
But they're still mid-dev cycle, and they're an important part of the dev cycle for Windows 8. So I think you're going to see maybe some really cool integration for, multi-touch mouse integration with your. I think there could be applications there.
For sure.
So I don't know. The Kinect's turned out to be a really cool product. When it first got announced, I was like, lame. Don't care. But now, like, everyone's jumped on it as the fastest selling electronic device, and apparently it's really awesome. So I think it's got a good range of applicability. So I'm excited to see what happens on Windows.
So Google has updated their syncing capabilities with their various web-based apps.
Yeah, so probably things you never noticed before. So this is when you're syncing your iOS device, whatever it may be, to your Google account. So before you couldn't actually search all your emails. You could only search emails that have been downloaded onto your device.
Okay.
And those cycle every, 50 emails or 20 emails, whatever it is.
Yeah, you can set it on your phone.
Yeah.
That's one of the changes in iOS 5. You now have 1,000 messages saved locally.
So with Gmail, you couldn't search everything else. I have like 8,000 emails in my Gmail account, right? They're not all on my iPhone.
Absolutely.
But if I want to search for something out last week, well, it's not on my phone.
Yeah.
So you can now search server-side, which is something I've tried to do 1,000 times and keep forgetting you can't do. We can now. What else? They've got calendar update, so you can actually respond to invitations within your iOS calendar now.
Okay.
And it'll sync back to your Google Calendar, which is good. And there's one other feature that's completely skipping my mind, and I don't really know what it is. So we're going to move on. It obviously wasn't that exciting. Yeah. So last but not least, the touchpad. We finally got a ship date. This is a couple weeks old, but I didn't want to talk about it because we were pretty excited about the touchpad.
Yeah.
From HP. So that's running the new version of WebOS.
It's coming out July 1st.
July 1st in the US.
Okay.
$499 for the 16 gig, $599 for the 32. Wi-Fi only.
Okay.
So the 3G's coming, it's just not out yet. And then look 2 weeks later for Canada and the UK and a few France. And then slowly rolling out to the rest of the world over the rest of the year. And it's the same price everywhere. So unless you're in the UK, that's £399, for the 16 gig version. But it is coming, and I'm looking forward to when it gets to stores because I want to go play with it and see if it's actually going to, give the iPad a run for its money.
It looks impressive.
It's the right price point. We like WebOS already.
We do.
And it's very easy to use. So I think people could, the general populace could like WebOS.
And my hopes would be that if enough people jump on board with HP's tablet, then we're going to see more apps for the WebOS operating system, which then will hopefully help to rebuild their phone system. Which,
for sure.
Which, again, we love the operating system, but it's a lack of apps that keeps people away. So,
and I mean, really, if you're going to the store to buy a tablet now, when you see the touchpad and the iPad and whoever of the week's Android tablet, the choice is really going to be between the touchpad and the iPad for most people because they don't, they know what Android is on the phone side of things, but on the tablet side of things, it's not fully tabletized yet.
Unless, of course, you have a large hard-on for RIM.
Yeah, I don't know who buys the playbook. I'm sorry.
I hear there's some people.
I want it to be cool, but it's not. Maybe a 10. No. Forget about it. I wanted to be that guy who goes, yeah, BlackBerry's doing something. I'm sorry. Played with it a couple times. I just couldn't get behind it. I like QNX, though.
Yeah,
QNX is cool.
It shows promise, for
Put
sure.
QNX on your BlackBerries.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Refresh your whole company perspective.
Yeah, well, and they're laying people off now. Too,
Yeah,
in
it's
Canada.
true.
Well, in Canada, most of their operations are in Canada. But so hopefully, downsize, replan, QNX on your BlackBerries. Yeah. But touchpad's coming out. We're pretty excited, and hopefully we'll get to play around with that for you guys. And I think that's about it.
Yeah, that wraps it up for Tech Insight this week.
It's kind of alive!
Nah, it's still dead.
Oh. So, gonna do science. I don't really know how to start this.
So we're going to start with the world's fastest robotic hand.
It is the fastest, as you'll see in our lower third, fastest robotic hand in the robotic West.
It's not really a robotic hand, more of a robotic claw, because it's only got 3 digits.
That may be, but it's got
But
3
It
digits.
does help with the fastness.
It does, but they are amazing. They are able to sense pretty much anything that gets in their hands. Like they can feel it, get on there, and they're actually it's amazing. We have a video, and you can find this on YouTube. You can find it in our show notes. It flips a cell phone.
There's one clip where it's like flipping a pen, those crazy
Yeah,
pen
they
tricks
do this weird,
like-
but it flips a cell phone out of 2 of its fingers, and before it even gets anywhere further, it's able to catch it, just like so, just as if it was between, and it's done.
It's crazy.
It's a scary robotic hand. I want one to replace this one.
I don't think it's quite there yet, because it was most certainly mounted to a desk.
To a couple of cameras to actually
Well,
catch
wired
things
up to some
and
computers and
look,
all sorts of
you can scale it down. It'll be fine.
baby steps, baby
yeah,
steps.
baby steps. But you want to know what goes good with a robotic hand like that?
Lasers?
Yeah. Now, they're not lasers like you're thinking. We're talking biological lasers.
Like
The
lasers I can shoot on my
first.
eyeballs?
Sort of, but no.
Nah, not interested.
Ah.
Nah.
Anyway, so these ones are made by Harvard University and the Massachusetts Medical Center, or Medical
Hospital school.
Yeah, either way.
Yep.
Basically, they've taken a human kidney cell, they've infused it with green fluorescent proteins
Yep.
from
From a
jellyfish. So this thing glows green when hit with blue light.
Cool.
And it's very, very neat. But they found when they use the protein, it turns into a lasing material. That is, the light is able to essentially get amplified and create a coherent beam out of the cell. However, they have to still put it between 2 mirrors that's spaced about 20 nanometers, I believe, from the article.
Really small.
Really, really small, really, really close.
Yep.
Still, though, hit it with blue light and you get a pulse of green light. Laser light at that. The whole the practical upshot,
Yep.
medical usage, of course. So you can't see very far in the human body with regular light or UV.
Yep.
UV will damage the body anyway. So using this, they can see further in and create almost a new bioluminescence for the human body.
That's pretty cool.
It is, and I'd really like to see it so I can shoot lasers out of my other hand. Because robotic. and then lasers crush things, shoot
It's
things.
probably easier to build a laser into your robotic hand. All right, cool. So
But I want biological.
yeah. So have you always wanted a particle accelerator you can carry around in your pocket?
Of course.
Well, there's a pocket-sized one. Actual pocket size may vary.
Yeah, it depends on the size of your pockets. And we're not just talking money. We're also
Yeah.
talking along the ways of space. This thing is built inside of a lab. But the reason why it's pocket size, of course, is because it's not taking up 200 kilometers.
It's not built into the side of a mountain spanning 3 countries.
Pretty much. This thing is a small size particle accelerator, which is going to be used to stimulate thorium fission in thorium reactors because it's more efficient than coal, more efficient than uranium, and it's a little bit less hazardous.
Just a little bit.
Basically, so you're probably thinking to yourself, I don't need a particle accelerator the size of a room to start fission. I could easily use something smaller. Well, that's the plan. They're going to make it the size of a suitcase. But the whole idea is to start up on this. We never did cover it when they started toying
think
around
so,
with the
no.
thorium reactor. Is to get thorium reactions going that will generate more power and cleaner power and less hazardous power. What with, of course, the unfortunate findings and unfortunate problem
It
over
was,
Fukushima.
it was said in the article that this is kind of an idea to wean the world off of nuclear power. But
Kind
yeah,
of a
yes,
weird way to put
yeah,
it.
Yes and no, but that's just one of the
It's
lines that
more,
stuck out to me in the article.
more to wean it off coal.
Yeah.
Because this is still nuclear. It's just a different stimulation, different element.
Yeah.
But just the same, check out our show notes, of course, for further details. I want to see that come into full practice. Not to mention I want a particle accelerator to carry around in a briefcase.
You
In a-
would.
I need neutrons sometimes. You can use them for things,
Sure.
of course,
All right.
for stimulating lasers. That wraps it up for science.
Hey everybody, welcome Behind the Lens. Starting off, we're talking about Sony and Panasonic's new mirrorless cameras that have been announced the last couple weeks.
Yeah, so Sony came out first with the new C3, which is a replacement to the NEX3. And what they wanted to do was to make a camera that was smaller than the Panasonic GF2.
Okay.
Because those two guys are apparently in a race for the smallest possible mirrorless camera. So the C3 came out and it was largely the same as the NEX3, except smaller.
Okay, so
and
not a pile of new features.
Really almost nothing.
Okay.
There's a couple of UI changes. I think it does full high definition now, maybe. I don't even remember. The big thing is, at the time when it was announced about a week and a half ago, it was the smallest mirrorless camera on the market. They also announced a 30mm f3.5 macro lens, so there's now a third lens in their lineup, which is good. Well, kind of a fourth because the 18-200 exists, but it's next to impossible to find. So we are starting to see some lenses come out from them.
Which you're going to need to build this kind of level, right? So
Sony was all super happy because they had the smallest mirrorless camera on the market,
well, then Panasonic came.
and then Panasonic announced the GF3.
Not a week later.
Yeah. So a week later, the GF3 came out, and now it's the smallest mirrorless camera on the market.
And you know Sony does not have something going, oh yeah, C4 or something. No, it's not.
Well, the problem is that I could almost expect them to do it, and that's, the sad part, is they're in this race to make these cameras smaller, but the issue is not the cameras, it's that the lenses are still, unless you buy the really small primes, which not everyone wants. Like,
No, well, it's
I
not
love
al-
them. They're great lenses, they're sharp,
But it's not.
they're
it's,
bright.
It's not perfect for everything you
Exactly.
want to shoot, right?
So if you throw that 18-55, or in the Panasonic's case, that 14-42 lens on, you get a lens that's like this big on a camera that's like that big. So it's a little broken.
Well, and the thing is, you can tell how ridiculous it is because they look ridiculous.
They do.
And when you pick them up, that's what they feel ridiculous.
Well, what's interesting is if you look at press shots for the C3 and for the GF3, they're both shown with the pancakes to
That's
accentuate
yes.
the small size. Because if you put a 14mm, which is the smallest lens out there, bar none, if you put the 14mm Panasonic lens on the GF3, it's a really tiny camera.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're marketing this camera at around a $500 price point. So it's designed for someone who is going to go, hey, I'm going to buy that Olympus XZ1 or that Nikon P7000. They can spend the same amount of money and now get a large format camera or a larger sensor and
With
interchangeable
lenses,
lenses. So they're really gunning for that market that wants something. They don't want an SLR, but they want something better than a point and shoot. And to kind of prove that point, the GF3 does not have a hot shoe.
Yes.
Which is really surprising. This is the first time we've seen an interchangeable lens camera not have a hot shoe. So it does definitely show the direction that camera's targeted
Does the
for.
C3 have a hot shoe?
It does, but that's because Sony uses their weird little proprietary hot shoe, which isn't a standard hot shoe.
So it's smaller?
It uses a little plug-in type, and then you thread it in.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
very small. So they've been doing that from the get-go. But it only works with their accessories.
So it looks like Sony thought ahead a little bit in this terms of this.
Yeah, well, because Panasonic doesn't have any. They've used a regular hot shoe, so all their
Yeah.
flashes and stuff are normal sized. So I mean, it's interesting. I think they're missing the point because the lenses are still, for the most part, too big. But Panasonic is also showing that they do still care about their high end market, and there's been a lot of rumors that they're going to make a professional level GF camera. That's going to
That would be interesting.
a little bit,
I'd like to see
a
that,
bigger
yeah.
build. Probably a step up from what the GF1 was, and also looking at what they can accomplish with the GH3. They're looking to up their game in their pro market. So they are starting to segment themselves. The GF3 is your entry level, your G3 is the middle level, and now your GF4 and your GH3 are going to be your sort of high end cameras. And to prove that point, at the same time as announcing the GF3, they announced the Leica 25mm f1.4 lens, which is a 50mm equivalent, which is
Okay.
one of the most popular focal lengths.
Yeah.
But it's f1.4, and it's Leica branded, which means that Leica has signed off on the lens specifications and everything like that. So you're going to get really good sharpness, good contrast, good compression out of that lens. So you're probably expecting this pay around, I think $600 US is the price point for the 25 f1.4, which is a little bit high, but you've got that Leica name on there, and if you look at other Leica lenses that don't autofocus, they cost like $3,000.
Yeah.
So
there's that if that's
so that does still show that they're not just thinking consumer, and they are someone like me who I love my GH2, and it really it competes with mid-range SLRs. I want to pick up this 25 f1.4 because I know it's going to be a performance lens.
Well, see, it's kind of nice to see Panasonic go at this so aggressively.
Yeah.
Compared to in the past have kind of not been.
Well, I mean, especially if you
In terms
compare
of
it to
photography,
Olympus. Olympus said that they were going to have multiple tiers of cameras for different goals, but the EPL1 and the EPL2 are identical, and the EP1 and the EP2 are virtually identical, and they're all the same as each other. There's really nothing that differentiates those models at all. They're all just sort of
But
in the middle.
I think in general we can say that Olympus has marketing issues.
Well,
compared
but
to
their
the other-
EPL2 is selling more than any camera. So, it's
Good cameras are
interesting.
good cameras still, though.
It's true. It's true. So the second thing for you guys today, following up with more iPad information, is our review of Snapseed. So Snapseed is an application made by Nik Software, and if you do a lot of photo editing on your computer, you're probably familiar with them. They make a lot of plugins for Lightroom, Aperture, Photoshop, popular ones like Viveza and Silver Effects, which are really good editing programs. Now, what Nik sort of got famous for was this U-point control that they had, where you could drop a point on a specific color and then expand the range that it would select, but it would only adjust that color. So you could drop a point on the sky, expand it across the whole image, and it would quick mask all the blue in the sky, so that you could just adjust the saturation. Yeah. Well, they've brought that over to the iPad. So the Snapseed app goes for about $5 on the App Store, and honestly, it's one of the most. I don't want to say robust because it's not. It doesn't have a huge amount of features in comparison to some other apps, but the features it does have, it does way better than everybody else.
Well, and features to price, I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah. So you basically load up an app or an image from your various camera rolls or anything like that. So I've got an image here. The first thing that I really love about this is autocorrect. So you can see just by clicking on the autocorrect, we've gone into a contrast correction, which almost instantly makes most of your photos better. It brightens them up, it increases the contrast in the right kind of ways, and what's really cool is you can always click the compare button and very easily flip back and forth between those changes. But what's neat is their design control, and that's if you want to adjust something, you just slide your finger left or right across anywhere on the screen. It doesn't matter where you are on the screen, you have the same control. But then you go up or down to change what you're adjusting. So I can go from contrast to correction to color correction and then make that same adjustment by moving left or right. So that's kind of neat. I'll go back in here and do auto contrast correction. And then you can come into Tune Image here, which gives you your more standard types of control. So you've got your brightness adjustment. You've got contrast, so we can dial in the contrast. We can bring up the saturation a bit if we want to. And then we can also adjust the white balance. And you see you get this little bar at the bottom, which shows your various different white balances. So as you slide through them, you can see it changing between those different color spectrums. And then we can get into different shades as well. So it's very easy to use. What they've also added, which is neat, is ambience. And this kind of goes both ways. If you go to the right, you get this sort of HDR effect, where it's building up all the color information for everything. But it's not quite HDR, it's just sort of it's an amplified image. Whereas if you go to the left, instead of dialing down the color, you actually end up with this soft contrast, which actually smooths out your background and gives you sort of a dreamy look to it. So you'd figure it would just be sort of a gradual shift between the two, but you actually go between two entirely different sort of settings. So you can apply that, and then we can go into the selective adjust here, and this is where we get into the viewpoint control. So you tap and you can add a spot down, and if you drag it around, you can see that there's a little color wheel that will change on the outside to show you what color you're selecting. So if we get into this red, for instance, I can now expand out this wheel, and you can see it shows you in green what's going to be adjusted based on that selection. And now I can independently adjust the brightness of that red. I can go in and increase the contrast of that red, and I can go in and dial in the saturation of that red if I want to, or dial out the saturation of that red. And you can see it's just affecting that color. So that's sort of, it's neat specific control that we haven't really had yet on the iPad, which can be very beneficial. So I can go and drop another point over here in the background, and I can expand that out, and then I can perhaps darken this back area down a bit, drop another point here on the blue, select the area I want it to affect, also darken this bit, maybe bring up some contrast, bring down the saturation a bit, and I can go drop another point over here and select that area and maybe darken that down a bit. So now you can see again with a button click, you can see the comparison between the two. So you got really specific control. You can apply that. You've also got your crop, rotate, and all that kind of stuff. But they didn't just stop there. You've also got a handful of filters. So you've got black and white, vintage, drama,
all the
grunge.
popular ones, right?
Yeah. But what's cool is you got the same sort of parameter control. So if I go into drama, I can click on style here, and then there's different styles of drama effects that I can choose. And then if I choose to go with this one, I can then control how strong that filter effect's going to be. I can dial it up or I can dial it down, and then I can go into the saturation control of that specific one. So now if we compare them between the old and the new, you can see the effects that has. And we can go in and stack these up, and they've got these nice organic frames that allow you to shuffle between different frame styles, and then you can control the width of the frame and the frame offset and really dial in that the way you want. And the last thing I wanted to show was the grunge here, because what's neat about this is you have textures, and you can just click this texture button to cycle between different types of texture, and then like the other stuff, I can go into texture strength and I can make that more obvious or less obvious and dial in how I want that strength to be and all of those different controls. So lots of control to it for sure. You can get some really interesting effects with this program. So if you are doing photo editing on the iPad, I highly recommend you pick up Snapseed. It's replaced most of my photo editors. I'll probably do a segment where I talk about my workflow soon, because there's 2 or 3 apps I really recommend for a strong, solid editing experience on the iPad. But definitely check out Snapseed. Probably one of the best $5 you'll ever spend if you like to edit your photos in a professional sense on your iPad.
There you go. With that review, that wraps up Behind the Lens for this week.
Sam,
What?
it's time to go back.
What?
Back to the low of the week.
That's right, it is back. After a very, 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 very long hiatus, we finally got something funny, just in time for Father's Day. Has your dad ever done something to embarrass you in front of lots and lots and lots of people?
I probably burned it from memory, but I'm sure there's got to be something.
Everyone's got that one story, but this guy, he's got one hell of a story.
He takes the cake.
Yep. So the guy's name is Dale. His son's name is Ray, and he's 16 years old. He gets to and from school on a school bus each day. So what his dad decides to do is, at the end of the day, he shows up at his door and waves at the kids. That's perfectly normal, right? Your parents to meet you at the bus stop. But this guy, he waves in hilarious costumes.
So define hilarious costume.
The Little Mermaid,
Oh, God.
Ursula, Triton, Beauty and the Beast, or Belle, pirate costume, magician costume, his birthday suit, a suit with a birthday sign.
That's terrible.
And other, kind of clever costumes. He's done this for the entire school year, so it's like 170 some odd costumes. Rain or shine.
Oh.
That is dedication. His blog is waveatthebus.blogspot.com. You can go there to see funny pictures of all his costumes.
We've seen a few of them, and they are quite funny.
They're actually pretty funny.
I would probably want to punch my dad if he did it, though.
Yeah, I think after about the 20th day, you're just kind of give up and just let him do it.
I would actually be starting to worry about his sanity. Be kind of like, Dad, where are you getting these dresses from?
From your mother.
Okay, Dad.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dad, whatever.
Yep. Still, though, good on him for actually,
That's
basically...
commitment
yeah,
right there.
like...
That is showing an interest in your kid's well-being or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, sounds like a really good sense of humor on this guy.
Yeah.
Not to mention, though, the kid took it pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would be kind of like, oh my god, he's
Oh
doing
my
it
God,
again. And just like, just keep driving. This isn't my house, just keep driving.
Yeah.
Just keep driving.
Probably after a month, most of the kids on the bus probably got into it.
Yeah, and they were probably, I mean, I can imagine the kids getting into it and actually having fun with it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
what's he going to be wearing today?
Exactly.
It really brings some excitement to the end of your day.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of cool, though.
Yep, cool Father's Day edition for Law of the Week. Not our usual video thing, but hey, it's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Fun
why not?
stuff. So that brings us to the end of our show for this week. As usual, you can contact us on Twitter at @almost_Friday. If you want to tweet us something, tweet us a lol, tweet us some science, some comics, or anything else.
Or if you have any comments, suggestions, or any other that crap that we have to, sometimes get, such as hate mail, love mail, more stuff to talk about, especially stories, we could always use those.
Mm-hmm.
You can always find us on email at contact@almostfridayshow.com.
And just a reminder, our Manfrotto contest is still going on until, I believe, the 21st of June. We got a big nod from our producer guy there. So if you want more information on that, head on over to almostfridayshow.com or just go to our Twitter page and scroll back a couple of tweets. It should be right up top there.
And we are retweeting it
Pretty regularly,
Pretty
so
regularly.
retweet, comment on our Facebook. You can enter win 2 really cool bags, a big one and a little wee one. And until next time, make sure Dad doesn't embarrass you too much or you might have to set up a therapy fund.